It's Miss Doe Monroe back at you again with another episode of Doe Chronicles. We didn't see our parents fall. We just saw our parents exceeding at whatever it is. Like that's the thing about adulthood. It's no middleman. It's I go from being a child and now I'm an adult who has it. And when you miss that middle step, you miss the part where they had to choose between club and God. Or they had to choose between going off on this person and take the higher road. They had to choose between if I'm gonna do church only on Sundays or am I gonna pour into my cup with Jesus every day. And it never has to take place in church. COVID showed you that everything can go. So it never has to take place in church. And I think people have to get in the mindset of church is just a building. But the real church is who you are at your core. What are you holding your values to? And once you get to that, then you'll realize church is not what you think it is. Church is just the hospital for the unhealed. And until we heal, we all need to be in some form of church. And churches start within. So whether you go to church and you pray, you can pray at home. You can pray in your car, get you a secret place. And that's when you go. But we have to put him in our toolbox because when you get in your toolbox and you show up to the fight and you left God at home, you instantly lost. We go from one thing and jump straight to the other because nobody taught us how to feel what we're feeling or live in those feelings. A lot of times, my mama tell me, go lay down, go sleep. That's the best sleep that you ever gonna get. Go sleep. But you're never taught when your stomach is upset to go look into that. That's why we have so many untreated deaths because they weren't taught. And when you're not taught a certain thing, you have to go and find people who teach you. And what does the Bible do? It teaches you. What does church do? It teaches you. And you have to understand, you look at it one way, oh, I was taught to go to church, or I was taught to do this, I was taught to do that. But what are you teaching you? At some point, you have to look at you and say, well, what is it that I want to know? And then you pour into that cup. When you want to further your education, you don't go to just any school. You go to the school that has the best education for whatever program you want to be a part of, right? Mm-hmm. Like, for instance, I wouldn't go to hair school wanting to be a IT person. That doesn't align. So you have to go get the best medicine or the best treatment for what it is that you want to succeed at. So it's the same thing with God. You have to go get the best thing. So if I know I want God to supersede my anger, I got to go be in the fire. I got to go where I know I'm going to be angry. If my job makes me angry, I got to stand in it. And when the enemy comes to attack, I know when I pull out my toolbox, God bless you. I hope you do well. Instead of, because that's what you used to. That's what your mama taught you because she didn't teach you how to sit with your feelings. She didn't tell you. She just told you, in God we trust, and God will take care of you, and da-da-da-da-da-da-da. She didn't tell you going to the club every time you come home, the Lord took care of you. They never coincide the world with God, and that's what this generation needs. Because we're all in the world, but we don't realize that within the world, we need God to cover us. We need his protection. You won't drive your car without auto insurance. So why are you living life without God insurance? Why? Why would you pay all your bills and not pay God? And I'm not talking about tithes and offering. I'm talking about with every day the bread that you're receiving. Why wouldn't you pour that back into him? Every day you get up and you walk. Why won't you get up and say, God, I thank you, Lord, I thank you. Pour into my cup. I used to not have devotionals in the morning. But now I can't function unless I'm pouring into my journal, pouring into my cup, pouring into that. But I had to get in the process of having habits and routines. I had to go back to what it is, make the main thing the main thing. But I had to figure out what was the main thing. Was the main thing me shaking my thing at the club? Or was the main thing was me pouring into God after after a week's worth of hell? I'm not saying be all change you to pour into him, but you need to align the two. See, people like to separate. Well, I can't do this because God, no, you gotta merge it together. Because if you never merge it, it's never gonna work.
You gotta do what works best for you.
Because at the end of the day, this is your life. This is your life. I can't only tell you need God. That's all. That's the only thing. That's my only message here. You need God. But I can't tell you if you need him more at home, if you need him more at school, if you need him more every day, if you need him more once a week. I can't tell you how much of God you need. I can't tell you where to pour from it. I pour from YouTube. Somebody else might pour from a physical church. Somebody else might pour from an actual book. I can't tell you where you receive God because God meets you where you are. So once you realize you're perfect in his sight, it's no all this hiding people be doing, hiding in church. What you hiding for? He see you. Unlike social media, you can't put a filter on it. I told my mother that. I said, I could put on the latest, the greatest. I could be the flyest person in the room. But when I go in my prayer room with God, he don't care nothing about it. He don't care nothing about your face beat, your hair done, your nails done.
You can't hide it.
You cannot hide with God. Your truths are going to be revealed to you. But he reveals your truths in a way where he doesn't chastise you. He doesn't talk about you. Have you ever been talked about? Have you ever been swallowed? Until you down the street, rolling in your car, and then this song come on, and it's like that one line.
It hit you.
For instance, he saw the best in me when everyone else around could only see the worst in me. Listen to what the one person saw the best in me when everybody else can only see the worst in me. You cannot go through life without him. And that's what life is teaching us. And until we learn that lesson, he's going to keep attacking you in the worst way possible. Look at all they did to him. Pierced him in his side, nailed him to the cross. Why? Because that's him showing you, I could take this hit. I could take that pain. I could do that. Everything you go through life, yes, it's going to hurt you, but give it to God. And until you give your problems to him, you're going to keep running into the same ones. Until you make him the main thing, you're going to keep running into the same issues. Keep running into the same issues. So until you get sick and tired of being sick and tired, you're going to keep running into the same issue. I was a runner, baby. She's a runner. She's a track star. I was a runner, and I was running from all my problems. And then my problems hit me dead in the face and said, look here, what's up with it?
You had no choice but to sit.
Baby, that toolbox was empty. I ain't even had my fighting words. All I had to do was cry. That's all I could do. But within those tears, I shedded my old self and became anew. But I didn't become anew by myself. I came anew with God. All my 20s, I've been searching for a partner. I had a ride or die. I was born with one. My father is rich in houses and lands, and he owns the world in the palm of his hands. I learned that song when I was a child, and it still holds true. So if I'm looking for a provider, I already have one. If I'm looking for a healer, I already have one. If I'm looking for a partner, I already have one. That's why it goes back to, are you looking at your cup half full or half empty?